Hey everybody, it's Casey Cole Corbin, and I've been really excited about introducing you to Joshua Moore. And Joshua Moore is known as the Ginger Marketer. And the reason why I've been so excited about introducing you to Joshua is that he is an expert in TikTok. Now, some of you are like me and you're getting a little frustrated with some of the changes that Facebook has made, and our organic reach and our efforts on our groups and stuff are just not reaching that many people. I notice your notifications. I'm getting like about 10% of the notifications on Facebook of interaction with people, etc., than I used to get just even a few months ago. And so it's time for me to be looking into alternative social media opportunities. And so TikTok has been in the news. There's been a lot about it recently. And so Josh and I have met on another group, and we started talking several weeks ago and he's agreed to come and help you guys be introduced to TikTok and what it is specifically for business. So with that introduction, Josh, tell us about yourself. How in the world did you get involved in TikTok?
Hey Casey, thanks for kind of having me on. It was kind of like even just similar to what you just said. It's kind of like a similar story where I found another TikTok group and I kind of just jumped straight on and I was like, hey, this is cool. I'm just going to do videos of my cat and making cups of tea and certain things. I was in Asia at the time and making content and didn't really go anywhere. And then kind of like the pandemic hit and I was like, okay, well,
Wow.
as a marketer of 10 plus years now, it was like, how can I really use my knowledge, use my experience of social marketing and all the other things that I've been doing in online, and why am I not getting TikTok? Like, what is this thing? Why am I not getting TikTok? So it's kind of that I went back to the drawing board and tried to learn from these other Facebook groups and online on YouTube, all these other resources, just to kind of understand the app. And I just set it my goal to just help people on TikTok. It was
Wow.
COVID, so all of these new users were joining, and I mean, I just understand when you join a new platform. If I'm struggling based on my experience and knowledge, I can only imagine what a housewife or someone, a young person that's stuck inside. And so it was more just getting on to kind of like help people understand how to use the platform and
Well,
how to.
I need help for sure. All right, and so I'm not a young person or a housewife, but I'm but I'm this guy in his 50s who takes it just takes time for me to wrap my head around
Mm,
particularly technology. And I got to tell you, I'm still lost, even though you and I talked several weeks ago, and I played around on TikTok a little bit
mm.
trying to understand the differences to it, and it's still not connecting for me. So I need to first, please help me understand. All right, so what's TikTok? How's it different? All my listeners are very familiar with Facebook, so how does it compare to Facebook or YouTube or things that maybe we're more familiar with?
So it's powerful. It's a lot more powerful as an organic tool for organic reach. It's not kind of like the AI behind TikTok allows your videos to reach the right people. And a lot of the time with kind of like the YouTubes, you kind of rely so much more maybe on the discovery side of thing. But here it's like the algorithm. The algorithm is so intelligent that it knows who exactly to show your content to. It's actually funny, before I come on here today, I read a comment and someone said I was literally about to put in TikTok tips and your video appeared on my FYP. Now, and it was like, she was like, I'm kind of scared and a little bit nervous being a
Yeah.
new user right now. And I kind of find that's kind of like a compliment because it proves that TikTok is targeting it correctly. But it's a short video, it's a
it
kind of short form video sharing platform. So similar to kind of like the IGTV, but a lot shorter, or your Facebook stories. So if you're a kind of video person, it's kind of like very a seamless transition to start making videos. And the way that they've kind of set it up is it's so simple. You press the big red button at the bottom, you record your video, you write your title, you put in your hashtags, and you hit post. Now,
wow.
when you hit post, the algorithm goes to work, starts
Wow.
finding all the people that should be targeting. And it's not limited to like 5 views based off kind of like some of the algorithms of your YouTubes or you kind of your Instagrams, where it's very maybe
Yeah.
push long term. You can go viral in the matter of hours. Like
Well,
I just.
it was kind of a frustrating experience for me just to try to get it right, because I got on there and first of all it showed me videos I wasn't interested in at
Mm,
all, and I'm scrolling through, and I guess it notices when you pause, right?
mm-hmm.
Or when you like, or do you like videos on TikTok, or do you indicate which ones that you like?
Yeah,
Is that
so
how it
there's
works?
forms
Okay.
of there's forms of engagement, and the highest form of engagement is to just watch a video. That's
Okay.
because
Wow.
you
Wow.
watch that video. It's the likes, the likes is the easiest, the least valuable, because it's quickly easy to double tap and waste a tenth of a second
Oh,
and then
oh,
keep scrolling versus 20 seconds
oh.
watching someone's video.
I see. I see. And so it was really the second day that I got on it that all of a sudden videos that were interesting to me start making their appearance. So I think for the listener that's not been on TikTok before, don't get super frustrated with it at first and then give up. You got to give it the algorithm, the AI, a little bit of time. But now when I go on, it's all the things that I am interested in, which is kind of fascinating.
Yeah, it's hyper personalized to your viewing experience, and it's kind of vice versa as well. If you're making content and you know who your target audience is, you know exactly the kind of content that they enjoy and what value looks like to them, it's easy to replicate that and get your content in front of that audience that should be watching your content. And there's lots of other ways you can do it with your kind of like your hashtags, and it is very, people kind of try to make it complicated, but honestly, it's not as complicated as what it seems. It's kind of made to be very simple to use.
Yeah. So what kind of results are people getting? You've mentioned you've hit some, that's some trigger words for me when you said organic reach. I mean, because I've been making videos and posting content, and I'm used to, I've had some things in the Facebook past, this is a long past, that I would create a post and it was shared over 300 times. So that was an incredible reach that I didn't pay a dime for. And that hasn't happened in a very long time. Now I share something and maybe it seems like 15 people get to see it. So what kind of results are you getting on TikTok?
Personally, from when I started the app, it took me about four months to get 100,000 followers.
100,000 followers.
And since then, it's that social proof is built up. I'm just about to hit 140K as I just checked in here.
140,000 followers.
Yeah,
on
and
your
bear in
TikTok
mind that
channel.
I created this personal brand that people know me of, GingerMarketer. I created just for TikTok. Sorry, my light is just kind of like jumped out here, so hopefully people can
You
see
still
me.
look very gingery. You still look good.
We'll try and kind of like fix this, but yeah. So that's kind of how it's grown for me. And to kind of into perspective, you get analytics built into the platform. Similar, it's not as advanced as kind of your Facebook and your Instagrams, but I had a post recently, and within 24 hours, it reached 1.8 million views. That
I'm
five
sorry,
fast.
back up. Say that again, okay?
So in 24 hours, it was 1.8 million views.
1.8
Yeah.
million. All right, so what are you offering to people that that 1.8 million people are viewing your? It's a short video, right?
It's a short video. It's kind of, so if you're going to be making content, it needs to be short, but it needs to keep attention. That's one thing that people kind of like oversee. It's like, oh, why am I not getting views? It's very much based on the percentage of watch time over your total video length. And it was literally telling people how to do something, and it was how to use one of the effects that built into TikTok. And that now it's
Yeah.
fast forward 5 weeks is at 7.4 million. It is now 560,000 likes. Shares, I think it's
Lord.
shares. I think it's 25,000 plus shares.
Golly.
Yeah, and that from that one post, I got over 45,000 followers from one post.
Okay, 45,000 followers.
And
Okay, so that took
500
you from 100 to 140,
almost
thousand in one
yeah,
post.
almost in one post. And it's kind of similar results that I'm seeing with other people. A coach and student reached 2.2 million. He's kind of like a brand coach, and in terms of the power of kind of more of like a business level, I do work with digital artists, and they're getting people sign up to their Patreon. They're getting like going live, people are going to their Patreon. I love your artwork. I see you all over my FYP. I'm going to go and sign up. It's Procreate this. So it's kind of not just necessarily the traditional art. It's kind of like also digital art. It's any form of visual. So your photography, your videography, even to the TikTok effects, certain things like this. It's a powerful tool for kind of reach. To put it into context, so there's 800 million users on TikTok.
800 million users. Wow.
Across 150 countries. It's the fastest growing social media app of all time. And I did some research on the hashtag art, and there's 109 billion views on that hashtag.
Okay, so my artist followers, I hope you're hearing this. This is obviously something that we need to be involved in. Yeah, and it makes sense too, doesn't it? Because it's visual. Right? The whole thing is very, very visual. So and that makes sense. So okay, and you mentioned something too, and you and I talked about this, a couple weeks ago whenever we first chatted, and he was at 100,000.
Mm.
Then that was just a few weeks ago, so he's almost increased by 50%. That's incredible. You're is that, and you do this too, is you can be doing, in essence, a live video and make money
Mm-hmm.
like in real time
Mm-hmm.
on TikTok. Now, how does that work? Why would people pay you to watch a video? Because we watch videos on Facebook for free. So what tell us about that?
So within the TikTok, it's similar to Instagram. So there's kind of different tiers. You to unlock. So you unlock when you get 1,000 followers, you unlock the live function. So you can
Oh,
go live, and then you can just connect with your new users. It's a great way to nurture a community. One thing that worked really well for myself was just being able to speak to my community. At one point, I think the most I had in my live was 400 people. So there's 400 people tuning into my live. And I
wow.
did about a 3 hour live that session. And funny enough, that was the time when TikTok actually, the servers went down. So they come to me straight away of like, why are my views on zero? And what's going on? Josh, help me. Josh, help me, which was kind of like a very intimate moment. And a lot of people do mention it to me when they chat to me. It's like, I remember that call, that live. And it was funny. I was kind of messing around and I was like, I'm bringing you all the updates here. But yeah, you can go live and there's kind of like a gifting function. And I use it a lot more for kind of the offers that where it's kind of profile reviews or kind of follow backs, certain things of the value, and they can send these virtual gifts, and you can actually cash that out as currency. And I know there's one user in the space of about 2 hours made about 30,000 from
thirty
gifts from people,
thousand dollars.
that she put a video out there and showed people when she was breaking down. It's like, I'm not going to earn this month this much money being the waitress. I can now quit my job and do TikTok full time. And that's just propelled her from, well, that uses at kind of 7.1 million followers herself. And she is a comedian. So it's still kind of like visual, but it's very much that audio kind of thing as well.
Oh, okay. Uh-huh.
But yeah, and there's various different gifts varying from, I think that the lowest is just 1 cent. And then the highest is, I think, $60. And then I think the most in one of my live I got was about $450 in a 1.5 hour live.
Wow. Wow.
And that's just people tuning in to pay for the value they're given because I've helped them with my videos gain 10,000 followers or go viral. To them, that's what that value looks like to them, that they've kind of, I've helped them out.
What does that feel like, Josh? I mean, what does that equate to about being worth about $300 an hour?
It's pretty surreal feeling. Bear in mind, this time last year, I was living probably off $20 a day traveling in Asia, and now it's kind of like a little bit. Yeah, for me, it's definitely not about the money. It's kind of the vanity metric for me does come in the followers of having people following me, but it's the vanity of happiness. It's the vanity that I know I'm helping these people. When I post that video and I show up daily, I know that if they've watched one of my first videos or previous videos, they're still getting value. Now, the beauty of TikTok compared to some of the previous other or social media channels, you get multiple chances to go viral. Just because it doesn't happen in the first hour or 2 hours, if you're making evergreen content, which I do, like how to go live, how to record a video on TikTok, it can pick up at any time. It can hit a pocket of users because they're always pushing out your content. So there could be one view, or it could be a 2 view over here, or it could be they're going to throw it out to 20 people. And if that hits a pocket and that wave rides, it's never a kind of you hit the top of the wave and it's just straight fall to the floor again. It's very, you keep riding this wave and you'll keep getting these drip views of views. So posts can pick up. There's a thing we call delayed explosion. One time it took me 2 months. I had a post that was on about 12,000 views after a week. 2 months later, it's now at 1.6 million.
Wow.
So it does pick up in that evergreen content, especially when you relate it back to kind of art and things that people want to learn as they shift towards more of an educational platform with the investment in creators. It's definitely super important. Yeah, so they've just released a 2 billion fund. So they actually pay you to make videos. So you get paid on a CPM. It's about 3 cents for every 1,000 views. So for that viral post, which is 7 million, I think I made about $170 just off the views off of that.
Wow. Wow. There's this, I mean, who thought that this little social media that nearly got shut down here in America a little while ago would be that you could make money so many different diversified ways. That's just incredible.
And you've got your linking function as well. You've got your linking ability with your platform. So You can drive people to your platform to click a link, whether it's kind of they're downloading a free guide or they're kind of accessing your website, and then you can retarget them. So there's still like a lot of power, and you can get a lot of eyeballs on that post. I do average anywhere from 200,000 to 250,000 profile views a month. So that's my brand. They're seeing my brands, and that's kind of like the power of it. And if you've got your profile funnel set up where you're directing people to click a link, and then you've got an email sequence or a drip funnel after that, it's super. Well, the conversion rate of just the organic side of things for making content in that time of making content is kind of mind blowing when you think about it.
Well, it totally makes sense because we know that people, do business with people they connect with because they know and like and trust them. And so if you're doing these average of like, 15-second videos or their little posts, and then you have the lives that are longer. So you've got almost like a perfect funnel, where people can kind of sample, your videos. And I've watched some of yours. I think, would you say that the secret to your success is your hair?
It, probably not at the start. Most recently, the fun, I did do a recent hair post which I classify as an organic moment. There's definitely a content strategy that I follow, but yeah, it was someone requested my hair in slow motion, so definitely go check it out. And it was a little bit funny, but
I'll be looking at that. Yeah,
there's
I remember the
definitely
first one that I saw.
side.
You're faced away, and so you honestly don't know who is this person, with this luxurious red hair, and then you flip it back.
And it's the
crazy,
reveal,
man.
and it's kind of increasing. It's the intrigue. It's kind of people are intrigued, and especially for the artist side of thing. If you're painting, if they see a delicate artwork or kind of a portrait, and you're not showing everything, you're just showing the little snippets. They wait to the reveal at the end, and when that's only a second long, they're going to want to watch that again, and they're going to want to go back and screenshot it or tap to pause.
See, that's where the mindset difference. So, you're looking at your phone, you're scrolling up, right? And then you see something that makes you stop, and you're scrolling through 20 before you stop. And so if you got to have that little bit of intrigue. I like that idea. Okay, that makes sense to me.
It's that hook. It's that video. How can you kind of hook the user to stop, whether it's kind of visual or a kind of a soundbite or something that you're kind of hooking people. When once you've hooked them, it's easier to keep their attention. A lot of people do fall at the hook where it's kind of like a slow start or a slow burner. And on an app where it's flick, 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 flick until you find what exactly you want to look for, it is important that you're focusing on that. And that could be of like the terms of the kind of value that you bring, whether it's making educational content like a series, how to paint from series part 1, part 2. That's why series work really well. That's going to drive people to your profile to kind of help follow you, go and look for part 1, part 2.
So if you join when somebody is on session number 3, then you can go back to their profile and pick up 1 and 2 because it's stored there, right? Like a live video on Facebook. Okay, makes sense. All right, great. Wow, so I need to do an awful lot to to wrap my brain around it. How would you, someone like me, all right? So Josh, you do coaching with people that are like me and that know nothing. You do coaching with people that have already started building their brand, and you're helping them to get to that next level. And you also do coaching with businesses, like big businesses, how that have an established brand but maybe are not on TikTok yet, and getting onto TikTok. So you work with quite a few different levels of people. So for me, and maybe the people that are watching might be similar, what do you think, like, what's the first steps or tips that you have for us for just getting our feet wet? What would we do?
I think it would just be not focus so much on just recording the content at the start. It's definitely trying to make sense of the app and doing your research, understanding what it is that you want to achieve. Because a lot of people go into it, and I kind of often in my discovery calls, first question, okay, like, what's your goal? And they're like, I don't know, to have fun, I guess. I was like, is it to have fun? And they're like, no, it's kind of to make more money for my account. Okay, so is this video of your cat, is that going to make you more money? And they're like, actually, when you put it like that, it's probably not. So that's when it kind of flicks in their head. So it's definitely having that mindset of what it is that you want to achieve.
That's some good coaching right there, yeah.
And to kind of like to help people and understand, okay, what's the theme of my account? It's very important to pick a niche, to have a theme. There's no help for posting dog content, then gardening content, then you're posting photography, then you're posting. If they're kind of closely linked, it's fine. I could talk around Facebook marketing or Instagram, for example, but I'm probably not going to be talking about puppies or kind of cats because it's not relevant to my users. So that's probably going to it's definitely kind of pick a theme, stay consistent with that. Hashtag research as well, making sure you're kind of researching hashtags and keywords that you kind of like want to go after. The lower the better actually for hashtags, anything under kind of like 10 million. And it's just kind of, yeah, understanding, brainstorming some ideas of the kind of content that you want to put out, and just be aware that in the early stage you're probably going to have to be spending a bit of time engaging with other artists, finding who's in your niche, and then just learning from that. That's the kind of easiest route if you want to take it yourself.
So kind of networking first and making your own connection with similar folks. Okay.
And then just having that structure. So how can you, it's becoming a storyteller. So you've got 15 seconds to tell a story. So whether it is kind of you're educating someone, so this is what I'm going to teach you, this is how I teach you, follow for the next lesson, or certain things. So it's kind of understanding what your content looks like to people. From a business perspective, it's definitely more of, I'd say it's not transitioned so much into more like e-com at the moment. They've recently signed a deal with Shopify to kind of have some e-com platform, and their kind of parent company ByteDance owns Douyin in China, and they've got the e-commerce platform that's a few years ahead of where TikTok is right now. So it's definitely like a brand awareness piece, because that is the organic. If you're selling to people, they're not kind of ready for that just yet on the app. They're ready to kind of, okay, this is cool content, I'm going to go and follow this person, I'm going to go and click that link. That's when it's kind of the work in the back end. So that's kind of like the main thing. Definitely research, definitely understand what it is that you want to achieve. Do your research, because people say, I can't go viral, I can't get followers. And I said, okay, well, who's 10 people in your niche? Are they going viral? Are they going followers? I'm like, yes. And I was like, okay, so what's preventing you from doing it? And they kind of don't see it that way. They don't kind of reverse engineer, why am I not getting views? And it's okay, well, that's to do with the content. Okay, break it down. It's the hook, or it's what you're talking in the middle. You're losing the attention in the middle. So yeah, it's kind of thinking of your ideal customer or your ideal viewer. What does that journey look like to them? Why would they want to stop and watch your content?
Wow. That's good advice. That's a lot. As you're talking, I was thinking like I should be taking notes, but the good news is I can go back and watch this again, which I will, because that's some good stuff right there. So the way that you're using this to make money is you're helping people to understand. You have a marketing background, right? So you do professional marketing, so it comes really naturally for you to help people to market on TikTok. People, sample, they get in their feed on TikTok little 15-second videos about you. They go to their profile, they check out your lives, and then they're like, I want to be able to do what Josh does. And so they contact you, and then you begin a one-on-one coaching relationship with them. Is that correct?
Yeah. So yeah, I do kind of several things at the moment. I understand that with kind of like everything going on, for me, it's kind of fostering that community alongside also giving that one-on-one side of things. So I do have kind of like Facebook groups, and I often feel that my followers are part of that community where they can help one another. I've kind of grown to kind of like 600 followers in my Facebook group, and I don't push it too much. It's very like organic, or I kind of mention it in a live.
So you collect these folks, and then you say, hey, if you want to have a community, you created a Facebook group specifically for them, and so they can come over and join your Facebook group, which is free, I assume.
Yeah. So that's kind of like free, but it's more like if you really want to accelerate, like a lot of people say you give so much value, and the way that I help people is it's still probably a struggle from me saying this is how you make a video hook versus this is the kind of video hook that you need to use specifically. So that's where the kind of coaching comes in, working with them, understanding what their goals are, whether they don't know how to tell a story with their content, or
I think that's probably what's mostly needed, because you're giving personalized guidance to their situation, which is something that I'm seeing a lot more of people offer is like it's so needed, because if you want general guidance, that's available. You don't even have to connect with a real human being. But if you want somebody, because I'm sure that whenever you're talking with somebody, you might start off with like 100 possibilities as far as like ways that you could go with this thing, and as they're talking, you're eliminating not those, and you're going down to 5 to and going, okay, well, what I recommend for you is that you do this for your circumstance, which is that's incredibly valuable. They don't have the capacity to eliminate all those, go down from 100 to 5 possibilities. You do, and so that's where your value is.
And the value that comes for them is that it's not I'm not doing the work. They're doing the work. I'm just kind of like helping when they kind of got an idea and they throw it into a funnel and it just gets stuck at the top. I'm kind of pushing it down. Okay, and then at the end, there's this kind of video. So it's how I visualize of you've got all these ideas floating around in your head, but how can we actually use those ideas and make it just a one really kind of key post or key week like strategy of posting, for example. And that's what it is. It's kind of more of the guidance thing, working on the strategy of the account, understanding, okay, if you post this video, how is it going to achieve X? What's going to happen if it didn't? Why didn't it? Whether you didn't kind of, whether there's like a second that you could like, it sometimes comes down to milliseconds on TikTok versus it's like, okay, let's shave that little bit off. You didn't have to say that at the end, or there's a filler word that you can take that word out, or maybe you could cut that small bit out. So when it kind of links back to the watch time, it's giving them that guidance and just that kind of analytical side of things of understanding how successful content works and how then they can apply that successful content that is proven to work because people do it every day. How can they then apply that to their account?
That's great. Well, if somebody watching wants to connect with you, what's the best way to do that, Josh?
You can drop me an email. It's josh@thegingermarketer.com. So I'm more than happy.
That within the group?
Yeah, most definitely share it with the group. So that's kind of like my direct line. I'm a one-man band at the moment, so you will speak to me, not kind of someone else. Definitely check out my account, see what I do. If there's anyone here that does want to get started on TikTok, you could probably, I don't have a guide on how to create TikTok because you have to be on TikTok to see my videos, but the kind of sign up process and just put in @GingerMarketer. Okay. So you'll find me across all socials, just kind of search GingerMarketer. If you just want to learn about my community and kind of jump in and be part of something and kind of, connect with like a like-minded community of people that are looking to really kind of accelerate their TikTok, then check out my Facebook group, TikTok Tips with GingerMarketer. So it's all SEO friendly, so it should pop up pretty quick. You'll see my face everywhere, so you'll definitely recognize it's me with the yellow shirt and the long hair.
All right. And that's your Facebook group. And that's TikTok Tips with GingerMarketer.
Yeah.
With. Okay. All right. Is GingerMarketer one word?
It's two words. It's two words. This was, like I said, was what kind of, I can't even remember how I come up with the word GingerMarketer, but people think it definitely sticks.
Definitely. Group, I'll put that in the chat and also put all of these things in the description. And
I'm open to kind of jumping on free calls with people, just those kind of discovery sessions. I'm the first person to kind of jump on any opportunity to network with other people and to kind of like jump on and learn about people's and their journeys. That's what excites me. People's journeys, what made them get to this point where they wanted to get on the call with me? Where do they want to go with this? What do they want to learn about TikTok and all this? It excites me every day to kind of open the app and see that my followers are growing and they're like, you've helped me get 10,000 or you've helped me get $20,000 from a client. It's kind of super exciting. I've got a little book for it actually that I write all these wins down. It makes me feel good every time I see it.
That's awesome. There's two of my private coaching clients that I'm really thinking would be. I'm not going to say their names or anything, but one is a president of an organization. He's high up. In a large. And to my knowledge, that organization does not have a presence on Facebook. And so one of the things I'll be doing is mention that he, watch this podcast and consider, connecting with you for, in a big business kind of, brand. And then the another one is, someone who is an artist who is, trying to get, her commission sales up and also her art classes, and people to attend those, and has even started creating some online courses, for that. So I think that she would be, I mean, there's others too, but those two are really coming to mind as far as people that you could really help.
And the barrier to entry on TikTok is so low. It does I recently did a podcast. The first person, he posted a video, had never even been on the app, 120,000 views in the first post. And he didn't know what he was doing. He looks back and he cringes at it. But it's that unpredictability, and those first few posts have that potential. And also got a friend who's got 3 posts and is at 70,000 followers. And those posts combined are up 42 million views for 3 posts.
He only has 3 posts.
3 posts. It's
Wow.
more adrenaline that is kind of hanging off the side of a building, but
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
it's kind of stopped people because they're like, oh, this looks scary.
I'm
I'm going to
not
share
going to
this.
do that. So
Yeah.
I don't care how many followers. Well, that's incredible. That's great, man. Josh, this has really been super valuable. I know that everyone's listening is going to be very interested in taking another step with you. I'll be putting all of the links that you just mentioned into the description of wherever a listener that you're watching this or seeing this. You any last minute advice for us or anything else you'd like to share?
I can't think. I can't think of if people want to reach out for hair tips, and I do those as well. That's kind of I
I
know I
could
try
use
to like
several.
end on a high, and yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I'll give it coconut oil, just put it out there for those people. Who always kind of captures people's attention if they're still watching after this time. And the
We may
best
have
tips will
lost them.
last. The best tips will last.
That's great. Thanks so much, Josh. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Goodbye, everybody.